Hello folks, my name is Mark. This is Mark's Movie Reviews. How you guys doing? So I just got back from seeing Avengers Endgame and I'm still kind of floating on cloud nine here. Less than an hour ago I got out of the theater and holy fucking shit, it's crazy. Right. In fact, if I had to review this movie in 5 words or less, it would be holy fucking shit, it's crazy, because this movie is just like goddamn, it blew me away. Blew me away. And, you know, it should, because it's got a very, very high bar to hit there, you know, as the basically accumulation of the last 22 Marvel movies, right? This is when it all comes together. This is when it all pays off, you know, the final huge epic battle, and it delivers. So, if you haven't seen it yet, be warned, I'm going to spoil the living shit out of this, so don't watch this video if you haven't seen it. Go see it right now. Stop what you're doing, right? And go watch this movie, because it's really that good. It picks up right at the end of Infinity War, you know, where the universe is dealing with the aftermath of Thanos and the snap and all that. And it's just like, shit has just gone to hell, right? And basically what happens is that Ant-Man shows up, because he's been stuck in the quantum realm, right? But while 5 years have passed in the normal world, in his realm only 5 hours have passed. And from that, they basically figure out how to go back in time, right? So that was kind of the thing in the rumor mill for a while, is that there was going to be time travel and all this other shit. And yeah, that's what it is. And you know, they concoct a plan to go back and get the Infinity Stones and undo the snap. And halfway through it, you know, Thanos figures out what's going on, and they all show up at the end for this huge, massive battle, right? Which goes on for like half an hour, and it's just like, god damn, like, I don't know. So, first off, everybody gets some time to shine in this movie. Everybody gets a scene. Everybody gets some kind of development. You know, they all go off on their separate teams, and they go out through different points in time, which is kind of like, you know, we get to see them revisit key points in all the other movies, right? And they kind of pay homage to some stuff. So they show up in the, you know, there's a scene from the first Avengers, and Thor goes to Asgard during the events of Thor: The Dark World, you know. And then Captain America kind of like, they pay homage to the elevator scene, right? Which was really, really cool. That probably is my favorite scene in the other Captain America movie, in, you know, Winter Soldier. Like, you know, the thing is with time travel in movies is that it usually gets all weird and convoluted and stuff like that. And they kind of just straight out tell you right away, like, don't pay attention to any of that shit. Right. Time travel works differently in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so it's not like, and then, you know, there's plenty of like Back to the Future references and that kind of thing, and they let you know right out that don't think too hard about it, right? Because you'll just, you know, it won't make any sense, just go with it. And so you're like, okay. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Like, the movie basically revisits key points in time throughout all the other movies, and here's where it all pays off. Here's where watching 22 other films all pays off, because now you can go, yeah, I remember that, and I remember when they did this, and I remember when that happened. And this entire series, it's basically just like reading, you know, comics. It's basically, watching all of these movies is the same experience as reading comics. You know, you get a little bit, you get like a main story, and then you get little bits of these other stories, and they all kind of come together. And, you know, this movie would be the equivalent of a yearly crossover event, right? Which is, you know, comics does something like that every single year, you know. Secret Invasion, Age of Ultron, Secret Wars, right? Infinity Gauntlet was actually a crossover event. And so that was really, really cool how it all sort of just melds, and everybody has their own little piece of the story. So there's a part that I think is going to make some heads explode out there, when all of the women in all of the movies kind of get together and lead the assault charge. You know, I think that's going to make some certain people's heads blow up in anger, and I'm like, good, it's totally awesome. It looks awesome. Captain Marvel kind of shows up in this too, and she's, you know, basically relegated to Calvary, essentially. She shows up at the beginning and at the end, but she doesn't just show up out of nowhere and solve everything, you know, like everybody was afraid of. She isn't just like this super overpowered, like, you know, you do get to see how strong she actually is. You know, there's a part where she shows up and just blows up a spaceship, you know, all by herself and shit. And you're just like, damn, you know. But at the same time, she's not strong enough to beat Thanos by herself either. You know, they all have to do it, right? And, you know, the movie essentially focuses, though, on the three main Avengers, you know, Cap, Thor, and Iron Man, right? And it's basically an ending to their individual stories. And each one of them gets a good, you know, a good ending. Major super spoiler, Iron Man actually dies, right? Which, you know what, that was, everybody knew he was going to die. That was in the rumor mill, right? Mainly because Robert Downey Jr. gets like, what, $30 million a movie now or some shit like that. So it's like, yeah, they're killing him off. He's too expensive, right? Cap, thankfully, doesn't die. He actually gets a happy ending, right? And he's still alive at the end of it, although he's like kind of, you know, aged, right? And basically he passes the shield on to Falcon, which is actually right out of the comics. That's a storyline from last year, even when, you know, or 2016, I think, right? And which just ended like last year. You know, Cap gets old, and then, you know, Falcon takes over as Captain America. So, you know, he might actually show up again. You know, Chris Evans might actually return someday, which is really cool. I was very, very happy that they didn't kill off Captain America, you know, because he's kind of, that's like my favorite Avenger and shit. So he might actually come back. Chris Hemsworth as Thor most definitely will come back, which is really cool as well. Some characters do die, which, you know, I won't spoil for you here, right? But it's pretty much, it doesn't like reboot anything. I was actually very happy about that too. I was afraid that they were just gonna like use the glove to just reboot it all and then, you know, undo all the shit that happened. It's like, no, nothing really gets undone. You know, everybody kind of has to deal with the consequences of shit that's happened in the past, which is, that's how it would go. And, you know, you would feel kind of robbed if they did that. And they didn't. I was very happy about that. I think my favorite scene in the movie, though, if I had to choose one, would be Cap versus Thanos, right? And I'm going to spoil this here, too. Cap actually gets Thor's hammer and is able to pick it up and goes and just wallops Thanos with it, right? For a good couple of minutes, you know. That fight was like, damn. Like, I actually cheered out loud for that. Like, I think because don't get me wrong, there's a lot of cool shit in this movie, but I think that was the point where I just was just like, ah! Fanboy was just, you know, going flying out of me there, right? Screaming, you know. I was 12 years old again, reading the Avengers, right? Watching that happen. So yeah, I want to go see it again. You know, there's a million little Easter eggs all over this movie, right? And I think I only caught 10% of them, right? I mean, I really can't think of anything else that even comes close to this, as far as like just the epicness of it, I guess, is the way to describe it. There isn't any other movie that is even, I mean, I guess the only thing that even comes minutely close would be the third Lord of the Rings movie, you know? Kind of the way you felt watching that one, you know, when all of the characters have their individual journeys and they all have kind of split up and they've done their own thing and they've grown and shit like that, and major things have happened and they all show up at the end for the final battle. That's the same kind of feeling, but take that and multiply it by 1,000, and that's what this movie is. It's like there's really nothing else out there like it, you know. So yeah, it fucking rules. It rules, and it is a nice bookend to the series, right? And we know it's not going to be the last one, and you know, it's kind of like, here's this huge chapter which is done, like bam, right? Move that aside, and now we're, you know, we already know that Spider-Man Far From Home is coming, so it's like there's going to be another one, And it's like, I hope they keep making them for another 10 years, right? I hope they keep making them until the day I die, because fucking they're doing something right. Anyway, that's all I got, folks. Go see the movie. Adios.